For decades, PC gaming and Windows were like Mario and mushrooms. You couldn't have one without the other. But in 2026, Windows 10 is dead, kinda. Windows 11 keeps getting heavier and Linux gaming is better than it's ever been. Ask me how I know. So we want to answer one huge question here today. Can you build a gaming PC in 2026 and just not install Windows? This video is not a tutorial. We're not trying to convince you of anything. We took one PC build, installed Windows 11 on one drive, and Linux on the other. Get it? OneDrive? And we ran the same games, the same benchmarks, and the same tasks on both. We're measuring performance, but also the stuff benchmarks miss, like compatibility, launchers, and anti-cheat. By the end of this video, you'll know whether Linux is a real option for a gaming build and who it's actually for. Let's go! We're gonna fast forward through the components because the real reason you're here is the test. But we can't just skip them because look at this thing. We made the build black, white, and yellow, just like Tux. We couldn't help ourselves. Come on, we couldn't make a Linux PC and not make it a Linux PC. The CPU is a Ryzen 7 9850X3D. We went all AMD for a reason. AMD GPU and AMD graphics drivers is open source and baked directly into the Linux kernel. If you're building Linux, it's gotta be AMD. Just like the XFX Swift 9070 XT in white. On Linux, Radeon cards are gonna be your best friend when it comes to drivers, and it matches the build. So, you know, kind of had to. Hey, if you're liking this video right now, why are you already not subscribed? We've got dual Kingston NV3 2TB Gen 4 drives, one for Windows and one for Linux. The whole point is that storage performance isn't a variable in this test. That's why we picked the Asus TUF Gaming B850 Plus Wi-Fi. It has two M.2 slots that run directly off the CPU, not the chipset. With Gen 4 drives, both slots get the same bandwidth, the same latency, the same everything. Both OS drives have an identical connection to the processor with no storage bias. We've got the Meta 360 AIO keeping the 9850 X3D cool, 150 watts of power keeping the lights on, and we threw 15 Thermaltake ARGB fans in here to make sure it's hella cool. And also yellow. And of course, we use Kingston Fury Beast DDR5 6000 for the memory because we always use Kingston Fury Beast. It's amazing stuff. One PC, two operating systems, same hardware, same tests. Let's get into some numbers, baby. Every benchmark is 3 runs averaged. Same settings on both sides, same resolution. We used Expo on the B850 board and applied the same memory profile to both boots. And this is important. If Linux needed a workaround to get something running, we're not hiding that. If it took a Proton tweak, a launch flag, or an extra step that Windows didn't need, that's getting noted. We're not grading Linux on a curve, we're testing what it's actually like to use it. All right, while the less handsome version of me spends the next several hours running benchmarks on this thing, let's talk about why you'd even consider making this switch. Hey, handsome, you should subscribe. Okay, pros and cons. Let's go ahead and build a list. Windows pros, best compatibility, anti-cheat, and kernel level anti-cheat. Game Pass, peripheral software, familiarity. Now Windows cons, heavier, more account pressure, more OS level suggestions you didn't ask for, more telemetry, more AI integration, more background processes, less feeling like your computer is really yours. I hate that Microsoft is trying to shove Copilot down my throat. It's really bad. I don't want it. All right, Linux pros, you own it. No account required, no telemetry you can't control, no background services you didn't ask for. It's free. Most Steam games work. Valve has invested heavily in Proton. Lighter, boots fast, runs lean, better pizza, Papa John's. Linux cons, and we're being honest here, anti-cheat. Fortnite doesn't run on Linux, Valorant doesn't run on Linux, launchers are annoying, no Game Pass, troubleshooting is absolutely awful, vocabulary, RGB, peripheral software, and so much more. But there's also a lot more pros too that I didn't mention, so, you know. All right, that's the landscape. Now let's see what the numbers actually say. All right, I'm gonna use a stoplight to easily describe what the wins and losses are for these. Green means it works great. Yellow means it works, but with some tweaking or patching. And red means it got major issues, buddy, and it just don't work. We're starting with something that isn't a game. Geekbench, pure CPU performance, single core and multi-core. Windows 3500 single core, 19148 multi-core. With Linux, we got a 3595 single core, 19952 multi-core. Linux is faster by about 3%, single core and 4% for multi-core. And this is actually what you'd expect. Linux is running leaner than Windows 11, fewer background processes, less OS overhead competing for CPU cycles. The processor has more headroom to do what you're actually asking it to do. This is Linux's best case scenario. Pure CPU work with minimal overhead. Round 1, Linux, easy dubs. Cyberpunk 2077 at 1440p via Proton on Fedora KDE. This is the benchmark title for Linux gaming. It's been running through Steam's Proton compatibility layer for years and it works cleanly. No launch flags needed, no workarounds. Windows, 149 FPS average, 125 1% lows, 3 runs identical across the board. With Linux, 140 FPS average, 121 1% lows. 3 runs identical. Windows is about 6% 5% faster on average. The gap is real and consistent here, and the honest explanation, Proton is a translation layer. It's taking Windows DirectX calls and converting them into Vulkan in real time. That translation costs something. Not a lot though. 140 FPS in Cyberpunk is still great, but it's there and you can measure it. At 4K, the pattern holds. Windows 61 FPS, Linux 57 FPS. Same story, same gap. In round 2, Windows wins. Linux is very playable and runs cleanly, but it's just a tad bit slower. Arc Raiders on high, and this is the round where the data gets interesting. Windows is 145 FPS average and 131 1% lows, but Linux 133 FPS average with 94 1% lows. The averages are close here, and 9% gap is not huge, but those lows, 131 versus 94, that's a 38% difference on the 1% lows. And in a game where the CPU is constantly handling player interactions, physics, and all the things that make extraction shooters feel alive, you'll feel those 94 FPS 1% lows when Windows is giving you 131. One very important note, while this wasn't an issue at launch, Denuvo broke Linux in June of 2026. You had to use Proton Experimental in order to not get kicked harder than Saitama if he didn't feel like punching. But as of literally about 10 days ago when we filmed this, Valve hotfixed it. So Linux gets a green light for now. Round 3, Windows wins, and it wins by more than the average FPS would suggest. Rivals on high. NetEase runs their own proprietary anti-cheat on this game. And because it runs in user space rather than kernel level, it happens to tolerate Proton. That's why Linux works here. Not because NetEase officially supports it. Well, they kinda do. They've released updates that actively list Linux in the patch notes, but that doesn't mean they officially support it. But hopefully in the near future, we'll get that NetEase stamp of approval. Windows 116 FPS average, 92 1% lows. Linux 110 FPS average, 87 1% lows. About 5% gap across the board. Modest, consistent, the pattern we've been seeing. Rivals is playable on Linux. The lows are close, and if Rivals is your main game and Linux is your OS, it's a viable combination. Round 4, Windows wins, Linux close behind. Blender is fully cross-platform, the exact same binary running on both sides. If any test should be equal, it's this one. Windows Monster seeing 168 samples per minute, Junk Shop 122, Classroom with 88. Linux Monster seeing 174 samples per minute, Junk Shop 134, and Classroom at 94. Linux is faster consistently across all three scenes, and this actually connects back to what we saw in Geekbench. Less OS overhead, more headroom for actual work. In a pure compute workload with no Proton translation layer in the way, Linux lets the hardware do more. If you're a creator running Blender renders on the same machine you game on, Linux has a real argument here. Round 5, Linux wins.
Jared, what should they do?
Subscribe. Fortnite still doesn't run on Linux in 2026. Epic Games has chosen not to enable easy anti-cheats Linux support for Fortnite, even though the technology exists and works in other games. This is not a workaround situation. There is no fix. If Fortnite is in your regular rotation, this is the video's most important sentence. Windows green, Linux red. No Fortnite on Linux, at least for now. Apparently, they're looking at developers for Linux over at Epic Games. So hopefully one day, Windows is the better gaming OS right now by a consistent and measurable margin. Linux wins when the OS gets out of the way, and the only real loss in Linux is the added layer of compatibility needed. When devs actually support the OS, it's pound for pound a heavy hitter that can stand toe-to-toe with Windows. Now the question is, does that matter for you? Okay, so we asked the question at the start of the video, can you build a gaming PC in 2026 and just not install Windows? Here's the answer. 3 versions of it actually. Linux is viable if you mostly play games through Steam. Your library is single player, indie, backlog games, emulation, or older titles. You care more about control and privacy than perfect convenience. You don't need Game Pass, Fortnite, and Valorant aren't in your rotation. And you can live with a 5 to 10% gaming performance tax in exchange for an OS that feels like it's actually yours. For that person, Fedora 44 KDE in 2026 is a real answer. The performance is there, and you get back something that Windows has been taking away slowly for years. That feeling that your computer actually belongs to you. Windows is still better if you play competitive multiplayer. You can rely on Game Pass. Your game library includes anything with kernel level anti-cheat. You use a lot of peripheral software, or you simply don't want to think about your OS. You just want it to work. That's not a criticism. Windows is still the path of least resistance, and for most people's game libraries, the data is clear on that. Linux gaming is no longer a hobby for enthusiasts that enjoy fighting with their OS. The numbers show it can compete, especially as AMD's Linux drivers mature and close the clock speed gap we found in our testing. But compete and equal aren't the same thing yet. Windows wins every gaming round we ran. Linux wins the CPU test where the OS gets out of the way. The Arc Raiders lows tell you what competitive gaming on Linux actually feels like. The gap is closing. It's not closed yet. Full build parts list in the description if you want to build your own dual boot setup. If you want a PC like this, built and shipped to your door, hit us up at metapcs.com. Our ready to ship PCs ship out the very next business day. And if this kind of video is what you come here for, hit subscribe. We're not done answering interesting questions with our expensive hardware. So let's get into it.